Welcome to another Pike and Shot battle, another paired match versus Nosy Rat. This time we are doing the French Wars of Religion. In this match I have the Catholic army at my command. We'll be starting down here. We've got a nice open field with some forests and marshes here, and some rough on our left. So I don't entirely remember what the Protestants can bring. I believe they can bring cuirassiers, which are pistol impact, pistol melee, which our lancers are pretty helpless against. So I might want to concentrate on winning the infantry battle. We do already have one unit of the Royal Swiss. They're ridiculously good, but they're also ridiculously expensive. So I don't know how many of them I want to bring. We want our 2 light cavalry. I want to pad out my numbers with later tercios. These are not mass pike units though, so they don't get any melee POA. For that we'll want early pike and shot. And I also want to pad out my shooting with skirmishing arquebusiers and light guns, leaving 240 points for either more cavalry or more infantry. And I think I'm going to opt for thought maybe if I started saying it I would make up my mind, but that just didn't happen. Grab some late gendarmes, just the average sort. Oh, 143. I want the Swiss. I do want them. I want the skirmishing arquebusiers for firepower. At the same time, I'm kind of afraid to use them in the open. So maybe we'll limit ourselves and grab another tercio. It's not an army I feel too confident in using, but we'll see how it goes. Deployment. So clearly we are shoving all of these Lightfoot into the Martian forest. And our later tercio can sort of operate in the rough ground. I might, in fact, save the Swiss until I know where we're going to make contact. So, holding action here and batter straight through to the front. And what we might do if he deploys a ton of lights and mediums here is just veer left and avoid this area entirely, even with our lights. In fact, we will kind of plan on that happening. And let's see his deployment. Lots of lights and mediums into this area. Reiter, undoubtedly there to confront the Swiss, so we'll need to find a way to not let that happen. And cuirassiers. So we're going to veer left. There we go. We will try to push here and somehow deal with this situation. That's going to be tougher. What I might need to do is rush this lot over and just hope to hold in the face of lots of fire and cavalry with our own infantry and lancers. Next turn. Send our greetings. Stay out of range for now. And send our lights over to deal with this. Keep one around. And our lancers might help deal with the Reiter. I don't know about this. I'm feeling outmaneuvered. Next turn. Okay. So, here's what we'll do. Well, that's not ideal. Shove them and see where we end up. It's not actually terrible. What is terrible is this. This is terrible. I've made a terrible muddle of this. I'm just letting myself get surrounded. Suppose a wise choice may have been to hang back here? I'm not sure though. Next turn. Yeah, I'm afraid I've let myself get surrounded. I'm going to collapse shortly. the goal will remain to get the Swiss into action. And unfortunately, we'll just need to tank some fire and try to delay here. Let's charge here. They'll fall back. Then we should be able to just rush past. Try to get our Swiss engaged against the infantry. We can do the same here. Charge in. And next turn, in with the Swiss. Here we'll have to hope for a good impact against the Reiter, results in disruption. Does. That drops his pistol POA and adds my swordsman POA. Fragged. Charge. Good-ish. Although I would have wanted these arquebusiers to rout. Let's bounce off of them so we can free up our horse. Kind of an ugly way to do things, but it's alright. Let's take a risk. Good. Now if these arquebusiers want to come after us, they'll need to get into charge range. Although I don't think it'll matter that much because this cuirassier is about to crash into my gendarmes, and then it's all over for them. So all I can hope at this point, well, I guess I can do that. Oh, very nice. That's quite lucky. These light lancers are going to try to get over here and threaten the guns, or to flank charge these Reiter to disengage them, or if we're lucky, break them. So it's looking semi-acceptable here, although we have way too many points committed to this no longer very important conflict. This is horrendous. The center could be okay once we get the Swiss into action. The question is, can the Swiss overrun enough of his infantry before my flanks cave in? I think the answer is no, but that's our only hope. Next turn. Technically we're up 10%, but it doesn't really reassure me very much, honestly. Especially with that kind of thing going on. And that kind of thing. Well, we didn't disrupt thanks to them being superior. Goodbye to the gendarmes. Yeah, so this whole wing's about to go. That's unfortunate. Run away! It's a temporary measure. Now we're too close for them to fall back. This unit, what is this unit going to do? Hopefully we don't frag. You know, what we might want to do here is just support our Swiss. If he blocks me from protecting the rear of the Swiss unit, I think the Kyle unit can zone of control like other Kyles from the flanks or rear? I believe that's the case. I suppose we'll find out. Very well. Let's get in their rear. And after we engage the Swiss, we can get rear charges in. It's not time yet because they're not disrupted. This is just awful. Let's just push around and try to engage these disrupted Reiter. Distract these units with the threat of a flank charge. Gross. Next turn. I think I made a pretty severe mistake here. I did not notice the alignment of these massed arquebusiers. Now they're gonna charge my already disrupted Swiss in the rear, yes, and break them. Yeah. There goes 140 points. Now he's set up for another rear charge there. I don't know if I'll be able to turn to prevent it or not. Hard to say. Yeah, I have definitely let myself get surrounded. I've lost one of my two best units for doing so. Alright, can we turn? We can turn to prevent the flank, but unfortunately that also prevents us from doing anything. But I guess we're gonna have to do that and accept getting shot at. So we've got a frag that could help us. Well, prevent the flank then. And also, let's see if we can't really... Well, we're sending in the Tercio. At least they can't get shot at. They only get 50 for Kyle, and the raw early Pike and shot being 60% Pikes get 60, but they're raw, so it kind of evens out. In the meantime, this terribleness, these late gendarmes are going to get shot to bits. Guess we'll move this way and kind of see what happens, but yeah. It's pretty much over, I'd say. Next turn. Oh. How are they still there? I'm impressed. I'm not impressed by that. That's not impressive at all. I wonder if he knows that the early Tercio can't be flanked or rear charged. Oh, this is very awkward. It's about time. Come back, please. Please come back. Oh, that is most undesirable. Too bad. It was in my favor by a whole 15 POA. Not something to be depended on, but, you know, it seemed kind of nice. They're disrupted, but unfortunately we're disordered. So if we charge now, still lose impact. Oh god, I don't even know what to do here. That's so bad. Well, okay. First of all, I don't even know. Let's just do it. Ah, that helps. Oh, perfect. Perfect spot, guys. Great place to park. Lock them in. And turn around and try to help these poor Swiss who can't do anything but get shot to bits. And keep these dragoons off of us. Alright, very messy. I'm gonna lose, but at least I'm creating a mess. Next turn. Ugh. So painful. There's a frag. These 2,000 men fleeing will put a big dent in our rout percent. Shut them off. So close. Turn again. We'll have to tank one more, actually 2 more rounds of fire. But if we survive that, which they're Swiss, so they might, we should be able to force him to break up his formation a little bit. Okay, this unit will also try to help rescue our Swiss Kyle. Pretty bad, but I think we can get some more revenge before the end. Okay, next turn. Looks like the Swiss hold firm again, at least. Ugh. We're pursuing, so we're not going to take much loss from that fire, luckily. Good. Fragged. We really need this unit to rally up. That is helpful if we can keep them unbroken. There is light cavalry roaming about. Wait, that's our light cavalry. So there's dragoons and, well, heavy cavalry roaming about. Even better. Cuirassiers and Reiter. Face the raw pike and shot. And what? Threaten a rear charge on the disrupted Reiter. Shift our early pike and shot to threaten this other early pike and shot and fall back for now. Be ready to threaten them if they should turn around to fight the Swiss again. And that is all we can do. Technically we're up, however, we're going to lose this Tercio, which is worth quite a bit of route percent shortly. So it's pretty even, and I don't know. I feel disadvantaged, but then again I always do. On to the next turn. Ugh. Of course. See how these pursuits shake out. It might still not be horrible. It might just be horrible. We're down 12, so they broke. And they broke. Our Swiss have dispersed. So if we charge, we're exposed to a rear charge from massed arquebusiers. But if we stand, we get shot to pieces, so we're going to charge. Infantry don't tend to pursue cavalry that they break, but it's possible, and if it does happen, that would be our saving grace. We'll zone of control lock these early pike and shot. Frag the Reiter. Charge them with our light lancers for a break. And excellent. Cuirassiers failed their cohesion as well. So now, except to reduce flank threat, but I think, okay, I'm not going to bother looking at the code, mainly because I don't know how to, but I believe that the stationary turn to reduce flank threat is not an option because this early pike and shot unit is zone of control locked by our own early pike and shot unit, and is thus no longer a flank threat. So our only option that we have is to charge for an immediate disruption to the raw early pike and shot. In the meantime, I'm going to get my late gendarmes over here. If I'm lucky, the cuirassiers will pursue somewhere that I can hit them in the flank. Otherwise, The late gendarmes can try to get vengeance against some of these musket or matchlock armed infantrymen. And keep running, try to rally. It's probably hopeless, but we're doing damage. Right, and we have reached the end. It was pretty close, actually. I was feeling like I was going to lose by a lot more. I guess our Swiss finally did something. I made a pretty bad mistake in my deployments, and I was unlucky in one part. Not that Nosy Rat won this by luck, but this was a match that was close enough that had I been a little bit luckier, I could have had it, I think. If this Tercio hadn't lost a fight in which it had the advantage, we could be winning this by now. At the very least, if the light horse hadn't failed their cohesion check here, we would not have reached 60, and we would still be fighting on, in which case I think I would have a chance. But regardless of any of that, my main mistake was deploying in a way that I could be within arquebus range of this marsh, and that just destroyed me. I think I should have either hung back in the open space or deployed to push hard left, occupy the rough with my own arquebus, and pikes in the open ground. But instead, I barreled straight ahead into a giant trap and died. Uh, it happens. Nosy Rat's one of the best, if not the current best, Field to Glory 2 players, and he's joined us here in Pike and Shot, so beware. Well done to Nosy Rat, and till next time. Except also, he asked me in the chat why his early Pike and Shot could not charge my Swiss in the rear. If you go back in the footage, you'll see that I have my own Pike and Shot zone of control locking them from behind. So Pike Kyles ignore enemy zones of control, except units that are in their direct front, except for other Pike Kyles, which can zone control lock conventionally. So that's the explanation for that.